Hi, welcome to this part of my review featuring Mutant Year Zero. If you haven't seen the other parts of my review featuring this tabletop RPG, where you play as mutated humans, attempting to survive the post-apocalypse alongside your settlement, the Ark, please check out the playlist in the description below. This time we are going to talk about conflict and trauma. A conflict starts when you try to manipulate, shoot, fight, or intimidate someone, or when someone does the same to you. Then it's time to roll initiative. Each side or each participant rolls a d6. This is affected by circumstances, mutations, talents, etc. But the highest roll goes first. You can also roll for several of the participants except for the player characters. They roll individually. The time within a conflict turn varies, but it's usually between 10 seconds to a few minutes. It depends on context. You can change the initiative order depending on what you use, for example the extreme reflexes mutation, or employing stunts when you fight or shoot. When it's your turn, you are allowed to perform one action and one maneuver. Actions could be rolling for a skill, activating a mutation, so it's usually related to attacking or carrying out some major action. A maneuver could be moving one range step. We will talk about that in a few moments. Seeking cover, getting an item from your gear, drawing a weapon, aiming a gun, etc. When it comes to range and movement, you have arm's length, near, short, long, and distant. When it comes to ambushes and sneak attacks, they are quite logical. You could get a bonus to your initiative roll, but you may also wish to stalk someone. Then it would be a sneak versus scout roll. When it comes to social conflicts, for non-violent confrontations, you use the manipulate skill. The enforcer can also use intimidate. It's all about bargaining, obtaining something in exchange for something else, but you wish to have the better results of that bargain or that interaction. Close combat and range combat works quite similar. For example, in the case of close combat, you use the fight skill. Close combat, of course, usually happens at arm's length, but some weapons could allow you to attack from near range. For every 6 that you roll above your success, you could use stunts, perhaps inflicting additional damage. 1 additional point of damage for each 6 that you roll. Maybe you wish to subdue or tire your enemy, causing him or her to suffer a point of fatigue. Maybe you wish to increase your initiative score by 2, taking effect next turn. You may also wish to forfeit your action, so that when you get attacked, you are more efficient or rather effective at blocking, dodging, parrying. You may even get a chance to counterattack depending on your role. When it comes to grappling, as a stunt, when you fight someone, you can choose to grapple him or her. To break loose, your opponent needs to win an opposed roll to fight against you. This roll counts as an action for your opponent but not for you. While pinned, your opponent can perform no other action requiring physical movement. Ranged combat works similar, but it is affected by cover, by the distance. It is usually better to fight at a near range. If you fight too close, you get a heavy penalty. And if you are too far away from the opponent, just the same. You usually need to spend a maneuver to reload each bullet that you fire. After all, these firearms are not exactly the best out there. But if you find a relic firearm, they may even have full auto-fire capacity. There are all sorts of weapons such as flamethrowers, scrap cannons, even mysterious artifacts from the old age before the apocalypse happened. When it comes to trauma, depending on the source of damage, it could be damage, fatigue, confusion, and doubt. Damage obviously applies to your body. This causes bruises, bleeding wounds, broken bones, and if your strength reaches 0 because of this trauma, then you are incapacitated. In this game, that is referred to as broken. You can also take damage to your agility, becoming physically exhausted, to your wits, and now your brain is overloaded and you can't think straight. Or maybe your empathy. You break down in fear, self-pity, or sorrow. You normally need specific methods of healing in order to recover from this broken condition. For example, in the case of strength, you obviously need some medical treatment. In the case of empathy, you need to spend time in the company of a friendly mutant. It's important to note that when your strength reaches 0, you get a critical injury. You need to roll on the critical injuries table. Maybe you end up with a crushed knee. And if you don't recover from that in 1d6 days, you die. In the meantime, you have a -2 to move and sneak. But maybe it's more severe. Maybe there is a severed arm artery. And you have d6 minutes to survive. You take a -1 to endure and move in the meantime. What's even worse is that if you end up broken from another thing, like in the case of empathy, because you have lost your will to fight, someone may get close to you and perform a coup de grace. They could try to kill you right there and then. There are also details concerning lighting, darkness, the radius of different explosions, how to employ vehicles in combat, how to damage them, and ramming enemies with them, of course. It is quite simple. You simply get on the vehicle. You have a certain degree of protection because of the outside structure of the vehicle, and of course, you move faster. And this concludes this part of the review. In the next part, we are going to talk about the Ark, your settlement, and zone travel. I like the combat rules. They are simple, effective, easy to understand. It's very easy to adjudicate all sorts of situations. I especially like how your character can end up broken in various ways, and even if you don't take physical damage, your enemy may take advantage of other conditions. For example, maybe you are disheartened, so the enemy takes advantage of your distracted mind and kills you right there. Thank you for watching this part of the review, and thank you for your likes and your comments. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. This has been Abraham El Jaguar, a professional game master. If you want me to run a game for you, please check out the pinned comment below. And remember, it is better to roleplay and fail in character than not to roleplay and fail as a player. Once again, thank you, and see you later.